Okay, well, look, hi everybody. Well, here we are. This is week one, okay, and we're getting started here on our political thought. And each week I'll post one of these videos, video of the week as we call them, where I kind of offer up some information on the topic itself and look at the ideas. It kind of goes along with right our live lectures and the things you're going to be dealing with. Okay, I try to kind of add some substance to things, make some connections for us. So as I mentioned in my other video, the intro video, this along with the other material hopefully will help, you know, things make a lot more sense, right? As we're reading through some of the topics and everything, kind of goes along with everything that's already there. So this week it's Plato. We're looking at classical political thought, how we all get started, classical philosophy, right? And Plato is the guy, Socrates starts everything off, but Socrates doesn't write anything down. And the reality of it is Plato, everything we know about Socrates, Plato wrote down for him, we think, or Plato wrote about him, I should say, because Plato was his student and Aristotle was Plato's student. And this is the kind of the foundation of philosophy and political thought as we know it. Okay. And as I say, I'll offer this as kind of supplemental material. So what I'd like you to think about, right? We're talking and reading about Plato, and Plato had some wonderful things, as you'll read about, the allegory of the cave, the divided line, different sorts of things. We'll talk about more of it in the live lecture. But this week in particular, when you think about Plato, the focus is justice. Okay, and you come to this class with a notion, right, of what justice is or what you think is justice, right? Well, take a good look at what Plato thinks about justice, right? What does he say? Is justice the person with the most power can determine things? Is that justice? Is justice more along the lines of doing the right thing because it's the right thing? Is justice about being fair? Right? So there's a lot of ways we think about it, and a lot of our political thought today, we get ourselves in a bit of a difficulty or some issues because we use these terms fairness, justice, equality, interchangeably, and we don't always have the same definition. Right? You got to understand what's the definition of the term. So what does Mark Ladd mean by fairness, and what does Sue mean by fairness, and what does Richard mean by fairness? We have to, if we're going to have a discussion about fairness, and we have to say, okay, here's our definition, here's where we're all coming from. Or if not, at least say, well, here's how I define it, and Mark, here's how you define it, so we can have that conversation. When you think about modern political situations, okay, the issue becomes with so much of it is a lot of times we're talking past each other, right? Like ships in the night. Okay. And that makes it difficult because if I think, for example, let's look at the voting issue that's currently, out there for us. When I'm talking about voting rights, if I'm talking about ensuring everybody has an ID, right, of some kind of photo ID to ensure their identity when they go get the vote or the opportunity, their ballot to vote. And somebody else is talking about access to the polls, as in where I can drop off my ballot and things. See, those are two different issues. But yet all the time we conflate those ideas. Sometimes when people say, well, I'm talking about voting rights. Well, you are talking about voting rights, but you're talking about two different things. Okay. So in our class, and in this week in particular, you really got to kind of drill down when you're doing your readings and go, okay, what does Plato mean by justice? Because in our discussion this week, we ask you to, what do you think about that? In modern society, what does this look like? In your writing assignment this week, you're given a scenario. Okay, how do you think Plato would apply this? Okay, sort of thing. So that's what we're after. Okay, get you thinking about justice. What do you think about justice? What did Plato think about justice? And then how do we kind of mesh those two ideas and mesh that stuff together? Okay, so that's what we're dealing with this week. So this week it's about justice. It's about thinking in terms of kind of getting your mind in that situation. We work this higher order thinking of really going, okay, what do we really mean by this? Think critically about it. Okay. Because again, when we talk to people about political ideas, we have to make sure we're talking about the same thing. And this week we start off with justice. Just what is justice? How should we apply justice? So make sure we understand Plato's version and our own version, and then their discussion, start finding out what some of your classmates think about it. And then we can begin from there. Okay. All right. I look forward to our conversations and everything this week, and hopefully we'll see you at the live lecture. Bye now.